right, everybody, welcome back to another Friends for Life's Midweek Mini.
Hello.
Hope you're having a great Wednesday. We've got yet another article from, you guessed it, our friends over at Disability Scoop. And, ooh, sorry, that Chipotle is hitting me. we got an article here stating pandemic exaggerated pressures on DSPs report finds. I mean, no surprise there. Thank you. We saw that one. We see that one daily. So to dive into it, it's saying long plagued by high turnover and low pay. New research suggests that COVID-19 pandemic further amplified the extraordinary pressures on direct support professionals who help people with developmental disabilities in their day-to-day lives, which is what we have here at Friends for Life.
Yes, sir.
Tons of DSPs working here for us. A survey of more than 8,800 DSPs from across the nation finds that the pandemic squeezed workers in an already difficult profession. Nearly half of the DSPs reported that they had been exposed to COVID-19 at work. And even though 97% of those surveys considered themselves essential workers, only about a third received a pay bump or bonus during the pandemic. The findings are outlined in a new report from the University of Minnesota's Institute on Community Integration and the National Alliance for Direct Support Professionals. The study is based on a survey conducted between November 2020 and January 2021 that researchers say is the largest of its kind. The majority of DSPs said that since the pandemic started, they have worked at least as much or more than they did previously. Just over half said that the places where they work are adequately staffed, and only 51% say they are guaranteed paid time off if they display symptoms of COVID-19. Three-quarters of DSPs indicated that they have been trained to use personal protective equipment, and 81% said that they had sufficient supply of safety gear. Most DSPs that the people with disabilities they support are social distancing at a level they consider good or excellent. However, they indicated that the pandemic has taken a toll on their charges who miss going out in the community and have had less exercise, increased behavior issues, mood swings, anxiety, loneliness, and boredom. These findings underscore a number of systemic problems regarding the direct support workforce that provides services and support for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, said Amy Hewitt, director of the Institute on Community Integration Research and Training Center on Community Living, and a lead author of the study, Turnover, Vaccines, and Low Wages, a national average that is just more than $12 an hour, has devastating effects on these professionals and subsequently on people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Now, Tony, as a man who has started as a DSP and worked essentially every position that the field has to offer, and then going on to creating your own business where you hire and work with DSPs. How does this strike you? Because I know you have a completely different perspective than a lot of people because you've done it all. You've done every job in the industry essentially.
The first spot that COVID created a line in the sand, I think, for DSPs and being in this long term. I truly noticed people who are dedicated, the DSPs who are dedicated to it, they buckled down and they did everything that they could. Absolutely. For anybody who was not dedicated to this field of work, they fell to the wayside at some point. Now, from my standpoint, because just like you said, I started way back and I have done so many different positions that when we were able to give bonuses and things like that, we did. And we gave them strong. And we tried to show our folks that we really appreciated them and care about the uncertainty of this circumstance. But the numbers are scary, man. Those are some scary percentages as I look through, and it's something that we always speak on now. This does not take away from the responsibility of our DSPs in education. Anybody in the sound of my voice or can see the video, you have to do your due diligence in your education in this field to get better, to get to those positions that you feel will pay you more or give you that satisfaction. If that doesn't happen, we also can't complain that we didn't get certain help and certain guidelines. Now, the pandemic, I think, put a light over this field of work, because we've always been like that stepchild. I guess the term used to be when I grew up, redheaded stepchild, but I don't want to segregate anybody who have red hair.
My brother has red hair. We're good.
Oh yeah. But it's like we were never really taken serious. Nurses kind of like, if you go and do a little more, maybe I'll pay attention to you. And same thing with doctors and anybody else. But it's starting to really show this is a very important part of just residential communities. You have people who are in these situations and caregivers who don't get enough appreciation and are in a possible situation, and not only to infect themselves, but they can infect an individual, their families, and there's just so many levels of it. So hopefully I'm making sense to people. I mean,
well, yeah, and I mean the issue of, this is a broader issue in the topic of just worker pay, and if we're being transparent, there's a ton of low-paying jobs out there that, the news headline I see every morning when I wake up first thing is nobody wants to work, and then the secondary headline to that's from a business owner standpoint, is nobody wants to work here, and then employees of those types of businesses are saying, well, yeah, you don't pay us enough. But where is because that line in the middle between enough, not enough, this and that is always shifting, because I'm completely on the outside. I don't hire people. I don't fire people. I don't set wages. I don't do any of that stuff. So for me, it's all just, questions I have. Yeah. So when you're looking at something like this, and it's been bothering me now for a while, it's like, all right, whose side is right, if there's even such a thing? Like, which side of the fence is better? Because I think, as someone who, I do run my own, if you want to call it a business, on my own. Like, I understand the operating costs of running my stuff. What I do is all video, audio work, so it's not like what we're doing right now for the podcast and all that. But like, my overhead is so high because camera equipment is not cheap. Right. It is very expensive.
And you go to some remote places that are nice, but you have to still pay to get there.
Yeah, if I'm filming something, a flight is $200, $300, $400, and if that's not covered by a client, that's built into a price. Yeah, you're flying, you're carrying. The last trip I went on, I know we're getting down a rabbit hole here. I'll try and wrap it up quick.
It all is going somewhere. So go ahead.
But like, I was carrying at like $5,000 of equipment on an airplane in a carry-on, so like, that's a huge liability on my end. Anything breaks, I'm gonna have to buy or rent something while I'm on location, which is dang near impossible 90% of the time. And so like, I have a small business, but I can't even afford employees right now. It's just me. So it's like, from someone like you running a full business with dozens and dozens of staff members and trying to like keep something afloat at the same time, and having to field everyone's issues and not being able to get employees. It's such a difficult issue because the news is so politicized. It's either you're a terrible person because you own a business and you're not willing to pay people twice as much as what you're currently paying them, but at the same time, those jobs probably wouldn't exist if you paid them double, because you have stuff you have to do. you have operating costs. Like, we're in a building right now. You have
several units.
And people can listen to this and say like either way they want. But I'm trying to get a real point across of like, it's not always as cut and dry as what you see on Facebook or make it is. Because yes, okay, some businesses do just rake in millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they could afford to pay people more. Some like. Everything's controlled by Medicaid and stuff at this point, and like, your personal wealth has nothing to do with the business itself, because that's it's such a complicated issue. I'm sorry I went on for a long time about that.
You're fine, and actually, this is the kind of conversations that we need to have.
I agree,
because I talk to a lot of staff about this all the time. You've seen me talk to people about it.
You're very open about what
yes, I'll tell, like, if anybody has any questions to me about the business and how it's ran, email me, you can get in contact or whatever. I'll break every single thing down. And that's basically what we have to do. Quarterly reports are great, but I prefer monthly reports. And in those monthly reports, I can see where we're teetering in, you know, in staff wages, overtime, and in any insurances and liabilities and things like that. And all of those things are fluctuating. But what a lot of people fail to realize, like, I can probably hire a DSP to come in and work $13 an hour. But any hour after 40 hours is overtime. If you work 1 hour over, that puts the company in the red. And we're not even talking about all the other overhead costs. So I have to have the due diligence along with my team for us to say, look, this is where we have to be in order to even make it profitable. And from a business standpoint, it just can't stop at having some profit. You need to be able to have 3 to 6 months of standby money. You never know what can happen. And one of the things, and I don't know if this is the nicest, but sometimes people want to talk about raises, this, that, and I'll ask them, well, do you have 3 to 6 months of finances? So if your life went down a tunnel right now and you had nothing that you could work or anything, are you able to survive for 3 to 6 months? Here at Friends for Life, we could. You know, every staff person will be able to be on pay. Just say there was a Medicaid problem that they couldn't pay out. Our people will still be able to work because we will still be able to pay them. But if I'm just giving everybody every bonus in the world, every cent that we get, along with all of the nice things that we do, I would be asking for a job somewhere.
Well, and that's something that I think the bonus issue in and of itself is an entirely different hole to go down, because I can say with 100% certainty, I've never worked anywhere that's done bonuses like you have. Like, I've worked at big places. I've worked at like Fortune 500 companies, and I've worked at local companies that are of sizable size. And we'll say one company I worked at, I won't put any names out there, but I was working 70, 80 hours a week sometimes. And we never got a bonus. We never got, the vacation time was minimal, no sick leave. And this was a high stress, like high physically enduring job, high danger. And there was no benefits. Sometimes we didn't even get holidays off because of just the workload.
Wow.
And so, I mean, I'm not here to say, this is just stop complaining and do your job and shut up. Like, that's not what I'm saying, because I've been there. I've been in the low wage jobs where there's been no like, what do you want to call that? Like, you don't feel like you're getting any respect.
Yeah, you were feeling unappreciated.
But like, and not just to like say about like you guys, you've given me bonuses and I've never asked for a bonus. No. I mean, it's just like I got a Christmas bonus last year. I was like, oh wow, thanks. Like, that's the hard part with me, just in my background. And I know we're going off tangent here, but like, you have to earn that stuff, and if you get, like, no company owes you a bonus. That's like the last place I worked, we did get bonuses, but they're all based off of your numbers,
right?
And like, if I put in my nose to the grindstone and got the work done, I just nailed the bonuses every quarter, whatever. I'd get the bonus. Yeah. But that was on me. If I didn't do the work, it didn't come in, and I know a lot of people do not want to hear that. But I mean, that's just the way. I mean, I'm not defending or going against anything.
I want to give everybody. I want to give Paul. He's about to get a bonus for bringing this up.
Well, I mean, it's reality though.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to live in this fantasy where money just like, okay, go create your own business and then come back and tell us how well that's going. Because I've been running my business for 4 to 5 years now, and it's just getting to the point where I can like keep it afloat. There's all personal money coming out of my pockets. So So I've been on both sides. I've had the jobs where I don't make anything and I'm barely scrounging by. I'm eating ramen. That was my college experience. And now I'm to the point where I'm doing okay and I can go and do stuff and afford things. And I've been on both sides of the fence, and I can say it's not as always as pretty. Yes, if you're a Fortune 500 company and your profit is $8 billion, you probably can afford to pay your employees a little more. If you're a small company that's been around for 4 or 5 years, like Friends for Life, you're just still building. Like it's
the foundation.
Yeah.
Like you have to give any company or any business that foundation, and our foundation was based upon us doing the right thing. From the beginning, not cutting any corners and hiding in regulations or any of that.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
we did it wrong, we take the hit on the chin and we learn and we move forward.
So yeah, and I mean, we would really like some feedback from the audience
Yes,
if you're listening, because like we're just as tied up in this debate as everyone else. I mean, this is bigger than a disability issue. This is I literally see this every single day on social media. I'm not even joking. Like businesses are hanging up signs that says nobody wants to work here. And if you're at McDonald's, well, yeah, probably not, because that job sucks and you smell like French fries. And like, yes, I totally understand. I don't have a good solution, but we're working on figuring out. That's why we ask every CEO that comes through our podcast, what are we going to do? Because none of us know.
Yeah.
It's no secret. If we knew, we'd figured it out already.
And honestly, I want to talk to more people, and we are. I'm so happy that there are county boards that we're working with to talk to schools, and we're working in schools together, and we're collaborating. And these are some of the questions that I want to ask, the high school seniors. I want to ask, freshmen in college.
Yeah.
What is it that you're actually looking for? Like, what part, like the Instagram lifestyle? We're in Midwest Ohio.
Trust me, if anybody knows that, it's me. Okay, come on.
Like, you're not like, if you want to go to New York and live in a loft, yes, you're going to have to make $250,000 a year.
Yeah, easily.
But living here in the Midwest, especially in Northwest Ohio, I mean, $45,000 will get you almost anything that you
sitting
really,
like a king, baby.
Dude, you're going to look nice.
Yep. But yeah, so please enter this debate with us if you can. We'll have you on the show. We want to have like community feedback, because we're just talking to you on this camera right here. We're talking. We need feedback because we're trying to figure out what to do. It's not as easy.
And it's not even just for us. It's not even just for Friends for Life.
Yeah.
We're past that. We're moving to the point where we want to even help the other agencies around us, nationwide, worldwide. We want to know. So if you're a DSP and you have an answer to that question, please let us know, and we'll definitely make sure we get back to you.
Even if it's not the answer you think we don't want to hear, let us know.
We don't care. You want to call me names? Go ahead.
I will. I'll call you names all day. But on that note, thank you everybody for tuning into this midweek mini. We went down a little bit of we went on a little tangent, a little rabbit hole there. We want your feedback. Let us know. Head over to the Friends for Life website, friendsforliferc.com. Leave us some feedback. You can comment on our YouTube video. You can comment or leave a review of the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you can get that. You can email us. You can find our emails on the website, all that fun stuff. And don't forget to check out our full-length Friends for Life podcast. And we also have the Medical Mondays. And with that note, we will see you next week.
Later.